Welcome back, everyone, to our commentary series, where we take a deeper look at some really fascinating writing. And today we're focusing on the work of Ajmal.
Right.
From his website, theborderofmind.com.
Okay.
And specifically a blog post that caught my eye called Peace Over Performance. What did you think of this piece?
You know, it's funny because I was really struck by how he kind of just jumps right in.
Yeah.
And like challenges us to really think about this idea that we have to be going at this crazy pace all the time.
Right.
Like it's just the normal way to live. And he's like, no, you don't have to buy into that.
It's so true, and it is so pervasive, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
This feeling that we have to be on.
Yeah.
We have to be available.
Constantly.
We have to be producing something all the time.
It's like this underlying pressure that we don't even realize is there half the time.
Like, he talks about those messages and the notifications and just this constant bombardment. Did you ever feel that way? Like reading that, did you sort of nod along and go, oh yeah, I know that feeling?
Totally. I mean, it's like we're almost addicted to being busy, like we get a rush from it, and then we start to think that our worth is tied to how much we're doing. But he really picks that apart, Yeah. And he says that a lot of this urgency that we feel is actually something we create ourselves.
Like we're making it up.
Exactly. It's not some like universal truth. It's just something we've come to believe.
And this is where I think it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't just, point the finger, say, oh, this is wrong. He's like, okay, so what's the alternative? And he presents this idea of choosing peace over performance.
Right.
And it's not about like dropping out of society or becoming passive.
No.
It's more about...
It's about taking control.
Right. It's about reclaiming our time and setting a pace that feels right for us.
Yeah. Finding that balance.
Right.
Between engaging with the world and taking care of ourselves.
And he has this amazing analogy of a machine.
Oh, yeah.
Right. That's constantly running.
Never stopping. Just wearing itself out.
And it really drives home this point that our minds and our bodies, they weren't meant to just operate at this frantic pace all the time.
We need rest. We need downtime.
We need to recharge.
Absolutely.
And one of the things I really appreciated about his approach is that he doesn't dwell on the negatives too much.
Yeah.
He really focuses on the positive aspects of slowing down.
Yeah.
He talks about how our nervous system craves stillness, and our hearts long for rhythm, and our breath waits to deepen.
It's like rediscovering those simple pleasures that we've forgotten about.
Yeah, it's like remembering who we really are at our core.
Yeah.
And, I think he makes a really good point that rest and rejuvenation aren't luxuries.
They're necessities.
Yeah.
They're essential.
Yeah, it's not selfish to take care of ourselves.
Not at all.
And I think that's something we often forget.
Yeah, we've got it all backwards. We think we have to push ourselves to the limit to be valuable.
But what if it's actually the opposite? What if by slowing down and taking care of ourselves, we actually become more present, more authentic, more able to contribute to the world in a meaningful way?
That's a powerful thought.
And one of the things that really resonated with me was his suggestion that we let the world adjust to our pace.
Oh yeah, I love that part. Instead of constantly trying to keep up with everyone else's expectations, we set our own rhythm.
And I think that can be really hard to do.
It is. It's a real challenge.
Ooh.
But it's so important.
Yeah, it's like a radical act of self-care.
Exactly.
And it's not just good for us. He makes the argument that it's actually good for the world too.
Yeah, he says that the world needs our presence, our authenticity, our calm.
Not our constant availability.
Right.
It's really shifting the focus from what we do to who we are.
And that just really hit home for me.
Me too.
It's a reminder that our value isn't tied to our output, but to our very being.
So I'm curious what resonated most deeply with you from this piece.
What really stood out to me was that idea that choosing peace isn't about withdrawing from the world. It's about engaging with it from a place of centeredness and intentionality. Like we're not checking out, we're just showing up differently.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
And if anyone listening is intrigued by these ideas, I highly encourage you to visit theborderofmind.com and dive deeper into Ajmal's work.
There's so much there to explore.
There really is.
And to leave you with something to ponder, as Ajmal suggests. What's one small step you could take today to choose peace over performance? Just think about that for a moment. And we'll be back soon with more from Ajmal's insightful writings in our commentary series, so stay tuned.